So you remember this chart from last week where we worked our way through 1 molecule of glucose. Do you remember about how many ATPs we got? About 30. If we had to go anaerobic, what did we get? 2. So now we're going to look at how we get energy out of fats and proteins.
Don't do.
All right, both can be used as energy sources. And it will be acetyl-CoA that's going to be the interconverted pathway. We can get glucose out of proteins. We can get glucose out of fats. And it's going to be acetyl-CoA that is that intermediate step. Acetyl-CoA is the center of this story. All right, now let's look at what happens when you eat more than you need. Well, you get fat. Well, let's be specific. Exactly how you get fat. So, you're eating. It's Valentine's Day. There's a lot of candy. You're eating. All right. So first, glucose is running down this familiar path of glycolysis to become pyruvic acid, making 2 of them. They become 2 acetyl-CoAs. Each one go through the citric acid cycle twice. Then the hydrogens and electrons go to the electron transport chain. We wind up with 30 ATPs. But let's say that we just keep eating and we now have a glut of ATPs. ATPs inhibit the citric acid cycle, and the alternative pathways are chosen. So remember, this was part of alternative pathway inhibitory feedback. So we're making plenty of ATPs. It's like, whoa, okay, I've got enough. So the first thing that happens, the glucose is turned into glycogen. Glycogen is our rapid storage molecule. This would be like putting your extra money into a checking account. You can get it easily. And I'm old enough that you couldn't get it easily. I'm old enough back when banks were only open literally 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and it was walk-in service only, which was a problem if you were a night shift nurse. Yeah, there's a whole story about police thought I was a bank robber. As I got off work, at 7:30, I went to my bank branch. I thought, well, I can just sit here till they open at 9 to deposit my check so I can pay my rent. They called the police on me. And then they blocked in my car, and I thought, well, what? And I was kind of dozing, And then I heard the knock on the window, and I probably should not have leapt out of the car, but it turned out to be okay. I leapt out of the car, and of course I'm in a uniform with a stethoscope around my neck, and his response was, oh, you're just waiting for the bank to open. I was like, oh, well, they get nervous sometimes. Have a good day. Wow, okay. I changed banks. All right, so now we store glycogen until the liver and skeletal muscle stores are full. And that's what the athlete does before a big event. They carb load. Carb loading means they're eating a whole bunch of simple carbs, starchy kind of stuff like pasta, that will then put as maximum amount of glycogen into the liver and skeletal muscles. All right, now, we filled that because there's limited space, so we filled those. So then what happens? Then this glucose begins down the process of glycolysis, except now we make 1 glycerol and 3 fatty acids to make 1 triglyceride. And that goes into the adipose tissue. 1 glycerol, 3 fatty acids. And then 1 fatty acid is made up of 2 acetyl-CoAs, by the way. So 2 acetyl-CoAs link to become 1 fatty acid, and then 3 fatty acids and 1 glycerol is triglyceride, which is the fat that's in your adipose tissue. So that's how we get fat out of glucose. And that answers question, I think it's 2. Your friend decides to, what does she decide to do? Cut out fat, but you notice she's eating a lot of glucose and she's gaining weight. Explain how fat is made from glucose. There's the explanation. So questions about that? First glycogen. Then, because the citric acid cycle has been inhibited, alternative pathways are chosen. First we do glycogen, then we make glycerol and fatty acids. 3 fatty acids, 1 glycerol is 1 molecule of fat. Making fat, that's called lipogenesis. And you remember from nutrition, it's the highest form of energy storage.